Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Dave Peterson, and today I will be showing you how I pick my interests for testing products. This is for Facebook targeting and Facebook advertising. So if you haven't seen my strategy for testing products with Facebook, go ahead and watch this first, and let's just get started right away. I am going to try to keep this short and to the point so I don't waste your time. I will show you how to set up the ad sets with the budgets, the targeting, the locations, and everything from start to finish for 3 different products in 3 different niches, so that you guys get a full understanding on my philosophy and how I think when I do my testing. So let's just get started right away. So the first product is long lasting makeup setting spray, and by the way, this is not my store, this is from another person's store that I found on Facebook targeting me, just so you know that. So it seems like this is a product to make your makeup not go away, so that is more durable during the day, I guess. This is a product for the beauty niche, for women or men, maybe, I don't know, in the beauty niche, people who like makeup, people who use makeup daily probably. So let's just go ahead and hop into our ads manager again and create a campaign, a testing campaign for this product. So this is how I like to set up my campaigns. I usually create a campaign like this, create new, and I always test. Right now I test with conversion campaigns. You can do testing with engagement campaigns as well. That is a little bit cheaper. So if you are on a budget, I would highly recommend using page post engagement or video view campaigns to test your products. Conversion campaigns are, for me, I like it more because it gives me better data, and I just prefer it. It's a little bit more expensive though, but the principle is still the same with the targeting. So it doesn't really matter if you're using conversions or page post engagement. The philosophy and the mindset when choosing your targeting is still the same. So let's do makeup spray, website conversions, testing, and website conversions. Save to draft. And let's go into the ad set level. I haven't created a pixel for this ad account. If you have a new ad account, go ahead and create a pixel or use an old pixel if you have that. Since this is just for demo purposes, I'm not going to waste your time and create a pixel. Is basically very simple. You just click create a pixel and you choose a name and just hit create, and then you put the pixel on your Shopify store. It's very simple. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube on how to do that, so I'm not going to go over that. Let's just jump into setting up this ad set. I always start out by naming the ad set. So starting with the date, today today is 25th, but I always schedule my ad set to start at midnight the day after. So if it's 25th, I'm going to schedule it to start at 26th at midnight, so it gets a entire 24 hours the first day. If you start your ad set at the end of the day, there's a risk that you might get a bunch of cheap traffic that is just basically trash, because Facebook aims to spend your entire budget during the day. And if you start your ad set with 6 hours left on the day, Facebook will basically just do everything to spend your money on those 6 hours, and the quality of traffic becomes worse. And I usually do worldwide campaigns, so I'll just do worldwide, and then I'll just leave one the last spot here for the name of the interest. This is usually how I set up my tests. It keeps things organized, and it's very convenient. Later on, when you go back and check, you can easily see when you started the test, where you are targeting in terms of location, and also what you are targeting in terms of interests. If I choose to only target male, female, and sort of age ranges, I will put that there as well. But for these tests, I'm just going to leave that blank. So I'm going to target 18 to 65 plus, and target men and women. This is because I usually do this because I found Facebook usually find men and women very quickly. If the ad is for men and women, usually Facebook is pretty smart, so they will figure that out pretty quickly. So I don't want to be missing out, because sometimes product you think only women like, there's also a lot of men that likes that product. So I usually leave it open and leave it up to Facebook to decide whether they want to target men or women or both. And same goes for age ranges. So I'm just gonna let Facebook do its job right there. Just go back up here and take it step by step. So daily budget, I usually do $10 a day per ad set. Start date 26 midnight, so that's 12 a.m. Run as ongoing. I don't schedule end dates. I just manually turn my ad sets off if they are not performing well. And here I do worldwide, but I do exclude some countries. So let's see here. Okay, let's exclude a bunch of countries here that, from my experience, for me, usually generates pretty low quality traffic, meaning they give you cheap clicks, they give you a lot of website visitors, but the people who visit the site usually don't convert at all, or at a very low conversion rate. So I'd rather just leave them out. So what you can do is you click here, instead of include, you click exclude, and then just type in all these countries. So I usually do Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia. What else we got? Laos. So that's it. You can fine tune this. This is for your preference. If you want to be more selective, you can add more countries. If you want to be more loose with your targeting, you can always include some of these countries that I just excluded. As I said before, we're going to leave age ranges as it is, and gender, just leave that as it is. Placement, I usually just do Facebook feeds for testing. So this is only feeds. Then there's a bunch of other things you can do on Facebook, but I'm just going to do feeds. That's basically the main place people see ads. That's the main feed in Facebook, if you're familiar with that. All mobile devices, let's just leave that open. This is all things you can go ahead and play with and optimize later on. But just for the test, I just go very simple, only feeds. Then you can go ahead and play around with right column, Instagram. Do only, right now we all have all devices, so meaning we are targeting mobile and desktop. You could play around into only mobile or only desktop, and even if you want to go deeper, you can do only iPhones or iOS devices or Android devices, and so on. For optimization, I always do optimize for conversions, and then I do 1 day click, and always lowest cost. This is basically auto bid. A target cost is manual bid, but I will do lowest cost right there. And another thing, when you have added the pixel or created a pixel, you will get the options to choose what you want to optimize for on your website. There will basically be optimizing for view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, or purchase, and a bunch of other things if you have custom conversions and things like that. I always go ahead and optimize for purchase right from the get-go. I found this very effective, and some people say you can't do that with a new ad account. I've done it tons of times with a new ad account and without any problems finding new winners. So it's up to you. You can try to optimize for add to cart or view content, but I found that if you optimize for purchasers right from the get-go, Facebook has a huge database, and they're very smart. So if you optimize for purchase, they will go ahead and target those people who are most likely to purchase something from your site. If you optimize for add to cart, they will try to find people that are most likely to add to cart, but that doesn't mean that they will purchase, right? They can't add to cart all day long without purchasing. So that's why I want to get the best audience and best people out there to see the ad. So those are the purchasers. So that's why I am optimizing for purchase, and I found it very effective. So last thing then is the detailed targeting. And to be honest, for targeting, I am very intuitive, and I just target things that seems relevant and like common sense targeting. So for example, we have a product like this, the makeup setting spray. This is obviously for people who uses makeup or who loves makeup, and who are in that beauty makeup niche. So let's just start by typing here makeup. And for in terms of audience size, I usually like to go with 500K all the way up to 10-20 million. So it's a very broad range. I usually preferably like to stay above 1 million in audience size though. But above 500K you should be okay. I don't like to go any smaller than that because that's just not scalable. If you find it to work with a 100K audience, you can only scale it so far. So I like to stay about 500K. And for the ad sets, I only do one interest per ad set. I don't do any kind of flex targeting or narrow, meaning that you can target something, let's say makeup geek, and then you can narrow audience and say so this basically means that I want to target people who are in this group of people that love that like makeup geek, and then they must also like beauty. So that basically means that they must like this and this. But I don't like to do that because I want to have as clean data as possible. So if you mix things like that, you don't know if it's the people in the first audience or in the second audience that worked. You want to have as clean data as possible, one interest per ad set. If it works, you know, okay, this audience works. It's not something to discuss about. But if you have like people who like dogs, and then narrow people who love to dog walk, if that works, you don't know if why it worked. Is it the people in the dog niche that likes the product? Is it people in the people who love to walk their dog who loves the product? So that is the problem right there. So let's just see here if we can find any cool things to target. So for example, makeup brush. Let's see how big the audience is. Potential reach 12 million people, and that's basically interest. So I'm just going to target that. And let's just keep looking here. So yeah, that's how simple I think when I choose the targeting. Some people spend hours and hours researching on internet and things like that. You can do that, but I found that Facebook is very, very smart at this point. So if you just point them in the right direction, if it's a good product, Facebook will find good people for it, and it shouldn't be a problem. You just have to have a relevant audience, and use your common sense to find good interest. And also always use the suggestions here. So if you find one good interest that you feel is very relevant, always go ahead and look in suggestions to find related interests. And that is the absolute easiest way to do this. So I'm not gonna hit publish here. I'm just gonna duplicate this. So hit duplicate and duplicate this 4 times. If you have seen my Facebook testing video, you know that I run 5 interests in 5 different ad sets to one product. So I'm gonna go ahead and select 4 more audiences to target. So basically everything will be the same except for the targeting. So let's start out from the bottom here. We had makeup brush on that. So let's just go ahead and see suggested interests here. Cosmetics is a very large audience. I'm not gonna go and select that. I love makeup artists, makeup lessons. Let's try that. Yeah, 5 million people. That's a solid audience. So I'm just going to select that. Let's move on to the next one. Makeup tutorials. Sure. What else? Beauty tips. Sephora. You can always do a little bit of research, like for example, search up some beauty magazines or some beauty brands. For example, Kylie Cosmetics. That could work. That's Kylie Jenner's beauty brand. And what else? Let's try Sephora. 40 million. That's a bit big. You could do Maybelline. 15 million. So just paste that right there. So that is basically it. That's 5 interests right there in the beauty niche, beauty makeup niche. And that's all you need. So the ads is right here are basically good to go. The next step to complete the campaign would be to add the the ads for the ad sets. So that is another topic. I can go ahead and show that in another video, but to keep this short and concise, let's move on to the next product.